Welcome into the Cougar Tailgate, where BYU fandom lives. Here's your host, Lauren McLean.
What's up, Cougar Nation? Lauren McLean here with Cleon Wall, and we're doing what we do best, talking all things BYU Cougars. Here's what we got on the show today. 3 Cougars were picked up in the NFL draft last weekend. We'll discuss what we like and dislike about where they ended up. Plus, BYU basketball's newest big man, Aly Khalifa, joins us to talk about what sold him on BYU, what he'll immediately bring to the team, and which food he misses most from his native country of Egypt. But first, the transfer portal gives and the transfer portal takes. BYU football and men's basketball are buzzing right now with all the transfer portal madness. How do we feel about it all now that the dust has settled? For now, anyway. Cleon, if you could transfer your fandom to another school, which would it be?
That's a tough one, Lauren. I'd want to transfer my fandom to a school considered an underdog, a gritty program that fights hard and overcomes the odds.
So you would like to win. That's fine.
No. I want to be a part of a school where I like the underdog story, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I like being the underdog. And I know BYU hasn't always been the underdog, but there are times when they are the underdog too. So I actually thought of a few teams that I would say if I had to pick someone from the Mountain West, I'd say Boise State. And I know they're not the underdog in the Mountain West Conference, but still I like them. Big 12, I'd probably go like a Texas Tech or a Kansas State. And I'll cheat because I've spent the last 3 days. Me and a crew have been here in Lubbock, Texas. That's where I am right now. And we've been here on the Texas Tech campus, and I've been just very impressed with what they have here. And they're kind of the underdog school. I mean, when you think of Texas football schools, what do you think of, Lauren?
Texas.
And probably next would be like Texas A&M, right?
Texas A&M and then TCU, since they were just in the national championship. But yeah, Texas Tech is definitely lower on the list for sure.
Yeah, they have a proud football tradition. So I like that. I like Kansas State too. Again, these are schools in these states that are either unheralded or they're the only thing in the state, and so people just really support them. So I'd probably go for one of those teams. If I was going to say the Pac-12, this is going to sound weird. I'd probably say something like Oregon State or Washington State. So yeah, you're right. I guess I don't like to win.
You do like to lose. Sorry, Cleon.
Okay. If I had to pick someone in the SEC, I wouldn't pick anyone. And if I had to pick someone in the Big Ten, I would probably go with Wisconsin. I really like Wisconsin's program. I think it's fun because they're not your Michigan, they're not your Ohio States, but they're that team that just works their tail off, and they end up with good teams. So an ACC, I don't know who I'd pick in the ACC. But yeah, maybe like an NC State or North Carolina. I don't know. North Carolina's kind of a big school, so maybe I'd go with NC State.
Listen, you put a lot more thought into this than I did. I picked one team. I went with Tennessee. Listen, my loyalties lie with BYU. Let's just throw that out there. There truly is not another school I will ever love more than BYU. However, I would pick Tennessee, and I know they're part of the SEC. Sorry, Cleon. But my husband's family is from the Knoxville area. They're huge Tennessee fans. I love country music. I love the state of Tennessee. I love the tradition surrounding Tennessee. They always have great teams, and I feel like their football team.
Wait. Always have great teams?
Well, listen, I was just going to say, and I mean all of their sports, they usually have great teams with football historically, but this last year, they actually were coming back to their former selves, and Peyton Manning would be proud. So yes, Tennessee is what I would pick if I was not a BYU fan. All right, you mentioned this a little bit. Before we get into all the transfer portal biz, tell the folks about the current trip you're on right now.
So we're in Lubbock right now. We're going to be in Stillwater soon, Stillwater, Oklahoma. What we're doing for BYU Broadcasting, both on TV and in radio, is we're putting together stories about the different teams that BYU football is going to be playing this year. Some of them have to do with athletics. Some of them are just features on the school, and some of them are just features of people in and around the school and how the campus community helps them. And so we're going out to different places on the road, and we've started out with Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. We'll be there. And then we're just going to continue on in not just the Big 12, but other teams that BYU will play in football this year. So we're going to go to Arkansas. We're going to hopefully go to Sam Houston down in
Wow.
Huntsville, Texas. So we're going to go to all these different places, and we're going to do feature stories on these on people, I should say, in these places, and kind of what makes these schools special. So it'll be fun. You'll get to hear and see all of these coming up in the fall. Basically, the week before or the day of the game, that's when you'll probably get to hear or see these features. And I'm part of that crew that gets to do that. So I'm going to be putting together podcasts to get that word out there. And we've got some fantastic stories.
All right, well, let's recap all that's happened recently for BYU football and men's basketball in the transfer portal, because I am dizzy, Cleon. It makes me dizzy. 6'11" center Aly Khalifa transfer from UC Charlotte commits to BYU men's hoops. Then Utah State transfer linebacker A.G. Von Pachan, love that name, commits to BYU. Oklahoma State O-line transfer Caleb Etienne commits to BYU. Then, come Sunday, Cleon, Cody Epps announces he's entering the portal, and we're all devastated. I mean, it was a madhouse on Twitter. Then Dawson Baker, a recent RM from UC Irvine, commits to BYU. Then Quez Glover commits to BYU. This is all within the last couple of days. He's a transfer from Samford. He turned down Florida, Ole Miss, LSU, and Notre Dame to come to Provo. Super cool. And then, alas, today, Cody Epps announced he's staying at BYU after all. And once again, Twitter exploded. Woo! Cleon, what do you think of all this drama that's surrounding the transfer portal and BYU?
You know, the portal helps and hurts teams. It also helps and can hurt players too. But the portal drama really plays into the media, and I'm going to say the fans' hunger to follow their team. I know, wild idea that we would want to feed the fans even more information or give them more information that they may want. You know, we can't help but talk about or debate about this stuff long after the season is over with and way before the season begins. There's so much speculation out there, just like you talked about with Cody Epps. All the media could talk about, and fans too, is why would this guy leave after having a breakout season for BYU? And he's given his reasons. But the speculation that went on from there for a few days was amazing. And then, you know, the warm embrace, I think it's a warm embrace that he's coming back.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, that I think fans also enjoy that too. You know, it just keeps interest in the program. And you could say the same thing about Lauren Gustin, because she did the same thing. She said, I'm going to explore what's out there. And then she decided to come back. But all of a sudden it was like, hey, wait, what's going on? And it just kept continued interest in the program. What do you think, Lauren?
It makes me wonder if when some of these guys like Cody Epps enter the transfer portal, if more money comes pouring into BYU. Because, and I'm not even saying that's why Cody Epps, and that's what's interesting. I think a lot of people owe Cody Epps an apology. Probably a lot of fans, because I saw some really interesting things on Twitters and speculation of why he was leaving and entering the portal, and it might not be about NIL deals. But I think that's also one of the things that happens with this is some of these big donors are like, we want this guy to stay, or whoever it may be, and they're pouring some more money in. So it's interesting. I agree with you. I think it can help and hurt teams. It's really hard when it's a guy on your team, a guy or girl on your team that is wanting to leave. But look at everything that especially BYU basketball at this point has received from the transfer portal. If they didn't have the transfer portal, where would they be entering the Big 12? So, yeah, I think it's a good and a bad thing.
And I think that leads into my next point, which is the portal drama gives your fan base some hope and also leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. I mean, what would we think about the BYU men's basketball team if we didn't have the portal? We would think they're doomed, right? After we watched them last year, and they're now going into the Big 12, which, if it's not the best conference in the country in basketball, it's like 1A. But now we, meaning the fans and media, we can fantasize about what Aly Khalifa can do as a center and dream that maybe he's a guy like a Nikola Jokic, or, you know, you wonder, hey, is Quez Glover going to be the playmaker who can break down Big 12 defenses for BYU? And then you've got, like you mentioned, Dawson Baker. Can he be a shot maker? See what I did there? Dawson Baker, good shot maker.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah, okay. You know, can he be the shot maker that makes three-pointers? Because BYU really struggled with that last season. I haven't even gotten to Keaton Slovis or Aiden Robbins or Eddie Heckard. which are also giving fans hope and providing the media with content to see if they'll be good enough to survive in the Big 12. I think it just provides fans hope. And it also, I'll go on to another point that I have, and the portal drama can also tell you where your team is. For example, BYU women's basketball. When Lauren Gustin said, I'm entering my name in the portal, and everyone's like, wait, Lauren Gustin's leaving. As a fan, you've got to be nervous about the near future of the program. They have a lot of good recruits and a lot of good young players, but if they had lost her, it would have been detrimental to the team next season. And it's already a pretty young team. It could get a lot younger if other girls decide, hey, I'm out of here too. So it can kind of tell you where your team is, but it also provides that portal drama also provides hope to your fan base and maybe even to the team and the media that cover them. What do you think?
I don't love the idea that it tells you where your team is, whether it be true or not, because I don't know. Because BYU basketball was losing a lot of people to the portal. Football's losing a lot of guys to the portal. So it makes you, if you take that point of view, you're like, well, what's wrong with the program, right? And I don't necessarily think that is exactly what it means. And it's good for the players because maybe they just feel comfortable somewhere else or they're looking for something different. I do like that for players, that they're not stuck in one place when they think there could maybe be something better out there. Well, BYU football gave us plenty to talk about last week as Blake Freeland, Puka Nacua, and Jaren Hall were all picked in the NFL draft. Jaren was picked in the 5th round to the Vikings, Puka the 5th round to the Rams, and Blake Freeland 4th round to the Colts. Cleon, what do you like or dislike about where these guys ended up?
Well, I think the guy who probably will get playing time, I think first, I still think it's going to probably be Blake Freeland. Offensive linemen are always a need. I'd probably say the second guy who I like the situation is going to be Puka Nacua. And it's not just because my favorite team is the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be because if I look at the Rams roster, they really don't have a lot of guys around there, wide receivers, that are standouts really other than Cooper Kupp. And you might say Van Jefferson. Those are probably your two biggest standout receivers on the team. And then Tutu Atwell, who was drafted a few years ago, but he's more of a fast guy. He's a skinny, fast guy.
Which is kind of what Puka is in a way, right?
Yeah, well, he's a skinny. Tutu Atwell's a skinny, fast guy who's like 5'9" and 165 pounds. Okay. Puka, I think if he can get his route running down, I think he could get some playing time because really there's not a lot of great receivers on the Rams right now. So I'd probably say that the guy who's probably, I think, in the best team and the best fit right now is probably Puka Nacua. And it's funny because I really wanted the Rams to draft Jaren Hall because I know what their quarterback situation is like.
Right.
And then they went out and decided instead to go draft another quarterback who just so happened to win a national championship in Stetson Bennett.
Why would they want Stetson Bennett? Come on, Rams.
Well, I guess for me, I'm like, well, that's great. Stetson Bennett's like 5'11", and he's a winner, but I just wonder if he's actually going to end up being an NFL quarterback. So I kind of wanted him to go to the Rams, but I think he's ending up in a good situation with the Vikings because I think he might actually be able to prove himself there. I don't know. Maybe he becomes a starter. Maybe he just becomes a career backup. But at least there's a place there where he could possibly become a starter because their quarterback is 35 years old. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, the number one guy with Nick Mullins as the backup. I think Jaren could compete for the number 2 spot if he can stay healthy and show out in camp. The Vikings have some phenomenal receivers in Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and first-round pick Jordan Addison from USC. So he's going into a great situation as far as weapons are around him that are going to make him better. Puka, he just has so much raw, gritty talent that can be used in a number of ways. If LA decides to get creative with them like BYU did, and I know the NFL is a whole different level than college football, so he's probably not going to be able to do exactly what he did at BYU, but I just think sky's the limit for Puka Nacua. And then Blake Freeland, I don't know much about the O-line for the Colts, but I know those guys get worn down and injured a lot, and Blake is young and extremely athletic, and with a little coaching, we'll just keep getting better and better. So I'm just super excited for all these guys and love that BYU is getting more and more draft picks. All right, coming up, men's hoops hit the transfer portal hard, including a pickup of the Egyptian transfer center from UC Charlotte, Aly Khalifa. He joins us next on Cougar Tailgate. Welcome back to Cougar Tailgate. I'm Lauren McLean alongside Cleon Wall. BYU basketball head coach Mark Pope picked up an important piece to his Big 12 puzzle in the transfer portal recently. He's UNC Charlotte transfer, 6'11" center, hailing from Alexandria, Egypt, Aly Khalifa, and he joins us now. Thanks for coming on the show, Aly.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you here at BYU. You really are just going to be a great piece for the BYU basketball team. You committed to BYU a couple of weeks ago. Why did you choose BYU over all your other offers?
I feel like the fit is really important. So the fit that fits me as well, that fits the team, and obviously the coaching staff, Coach Pope. Like I said before, he was really different. He was texting me, calling me, FaceTiming me every day.
Okay, so let's talk about the fit. How do you fit into this BYU basketball team?
I feel like BYU haven't had a true center this past year. Obviously, he was their starting center, and he was 6'6", and I feel like they just knew, like push to the floor or something. And I feel like Coach Pope is a big man as well. He knows how skilled I am. He knows how to make me fit into the team, and that was really important. That I'm getting touches in the high post and the low post, as well as some pick and pops because I can shoot the three. I feel like that's gonna be it.
What excites you about coming to Provo and the prospect of being part of the Big 12?
It's really exciting. Obviously, Big 12. I just saw something on Twitter right before I joined. It's the best conference in the U.S. right now. So obviously, it's really, really exciting. Plus the fans in Provo. Like I said it before, it's crazy. Like once I committed, the amount of people that texted me, that showed me love, and it's really exciting. I wanna play in obviously in front of a lot of fans every game. And obviously, it's well known for the passionate fans, so it's really exciting.
Was there anything, or did you know anything about BYU or Provo or anything like that before you actually decided, hey, maybe I'll check BYU out?
I mean, I knew they're in Utah, and I knew I had a couple friends play at St. Mary's last year, so I knew they're in the same conference as them and Gonzaga. I didn't know they moved into Big 12. Which is really exciting. And yeah, I didn't know much. I knew they had a lot of fans come every game. That's all I know. And one of my best friends played there against them 2 years ago, and he said it's the loudest arena he ever been. And it's that's all basically all I knew. And then in the visit, it's just really beautiful. I didn't know the mountains are really close to it. So it was really really fun. Yeah.
A lot of people feel a little claustrophobic with those mountains, but I'm glad you like them. And I'm glad you've realized it's a very passionate fan base, and they definitely will have your back. How has it been with the new teammates so far? You mentioned that you really enjoy Mark Pope, but how has it been with the other coaches and the new teammates?
I mean, Coach Nick, obviously, he was the coach that first recruited me, so I'm really close with all of them. In my recruitment process, Jaren Hall and Fuss, they were reaching out and they were texting and calling me. So I really like that. All the team, whenever I committed, they texted me and they showed me love, like Jackson, Jaren Hall, and Fuss, and Noah, and everybody just shoot me a message and they tell me congrats, and we're excited to work. So it's great to be a part of this new family. And like I said, like last week, Coach Pope flew to Charlotte to meet my friends and meet me. Coach Nick tomorrow, I'm gonna see him tomorrow morning. Actually, he's flying to Charlotte, so it's really cool.
You mentioned you have a girlfriend, and what was her reaction and your friends and family's reaction when you told them you were coming to Provo, Utah to play basketball?
I mean, my family knew before my girlfriend, like my sister. I'm very close with her. She thought it was the right place to do so because Coach Pope, she was on the Zoom with us before I committed, and she was trying to come to the visit, but she didn't get her visa on time. She knew, she really saw the connection between me and Coach Pope, but my girlfriend was really surprised. I mean, she's from North Carolina. She doesn't know much about Utah, but that's mainly why. But obviously, it's not sad, obviously, because I've been here for 3 years. But obviously, they're very excited for the Big 12 and to play at BYU.
since you've committed to BYU, fans have probably been scouring the internet to see what kind of a game you bring or that you will bring to the Cougars. But I want you to explain to fans what you're going to do or what your plans are to do to try and help this BYU basketball team in their first year in the Big 12.
I mean, obviously, it's like I said before, we didn't have a true big the past couple of years, and I can provide my passing ability, I'm a great teammate, and my passing ability, just getting my teammates involved, and for a big man that can shoot as well is just like that's going to be huge, especially in the Big 12 with that a lot of athletic bigs to be able to pull them off the paint to be able to guard me. Basically, our guards will have layups. So I'm really excited. I'm going to show, obviously, I'm a great teammate and I'm a great guy. I hope so. And obviously, just really excited.
Because of your passing, I think that's why all those BYU Cougars were texting you. Because they're just like, hey, if you're going to pass me the ball, I'll show you a lot of love, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that's such a unique skill at a guy who's 6'11", and you grew up in Egypt. How did you first get involved with basketball?
My older sister started playing when I was 7, I believe. When I was 7, she started playing, and I didn't really play basketball till I grew up a little bit. I was 9 and a half. And basically she told me to come try. And ever since then, I took it as a hobby at the start, and then once it got serious, I was like, oh, I'm really good at that. I can make it like basically a job, and here we are now.
Were there other sports that you really liked, and did you gravitate towards them, or was like basketball the number one sport you gravitated towards?
I mean, I love soccer till today. That's one of my favorite top 2 sports. I tried playing soccer, but I was so tall, and wasn't good at it. Like, if I was better at soccer, I would have probably played soccer. But obviously, growing up in Egypt, the soccer is number 1 sport. So I was really into soccer until I played basketball, and then just fell in love with basketball. But for any other sport, I'll say soccer.
I don't know if I've ever known a 6'11" soccer player. Is there one? Do you know of one?
I don't think. Maybe a goalkeeper or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a goalie or something. So obviously the NBA is huge here in the United States of America. Who was the basketball player that you grew up just watching and looking up to?
Growing up, I was looking up to Dirk Nowitzki a lot because of his shooting ability, and actually met him once in Africa. But after I went to college, or maybe my high school, like my senior year in high school, I started looking more towards Nikola Jokic. So I think that was the 2 players that I look up to.
What was it like meeting Dirk that one time? What was the conversation like?
It was great. It was I didn't know English that well. It was 2017. I didn't learn English, but it was just cool just to be able to handshake him and just stand with him. And he's talking about basketball, and you're like, that was his last year in the NBA too. So it was really
cool.
It was really cool, yeah.
And you mentioned Jokic, and you've actually been compared to him, just kind of your type of play. You're a great passer. You can shoot the 3. When did you start developing an all-around game like you have?
I feel in high school in Australia, the McDowell Academy, we had a really great group of guys. We had Josh Giddey and Dyson Daniels, and we had a lot of great players. So I feel like practicing against them and with them every day really developed my passing ability and shooting ability as well. A lot of development work we did in Australia, and obviously here in Charlotte as well. My redshirt year and the 2 years I played for Charlotte, the coaching staff really developed me in these situations to like passing the ball and shooting the ball. I feel like, yeah.
Aly, you keep dropping names here. I mean, you dropped Dirk Nowitzki. You just said Josh Giddey, who's also playing in the NBA. You've also played with Egypt's national basketball program. What's that been like? What's it been like playing international basketball for your country?
It's been great. I mean, I played the under-16s, under-17s back 2017, but that was my first time actually playing with the senior men's national team. Like it was like a dream comes true to be called, just to be in a camp. Even it was like these players I was playing with, I looked up with growing up. I looked up like they were my idols growing up, and now it was like one of them was my roommate. It was like crazy, but I learned a lot from Coach Roy and the players as well. They're vets. They 20, 25 and above, and our two best players on the team are bigs basically, and I really learned from them just going at them every practice, and they going at me, and just got me a lot better and prepared for the season.
Man, that's so awesome. And for those people that don't know, you're a devout Muslim. Atiki Ali Atiki and Fusini Traore are also Muslim on the team. How important was it for you having those guys here with you at BYU? Did that have any pull into you coming to Provo?
I mean, yeah, it kind of did. Just knowing that there's a lot of like a big Muslim population in BYU. I never played outside of Egypt. I never played with Muslims on the same team since I left home when I was 15. So it's there can be some type of connection to be able to do stuff together, pray together, and yeah, like I for fun fact, I played Fus back in Egypt in 2017. Nobody knew that, but I knew Fus for a while.
Wow.
But it's just great to. It's kind of like cool to have somebody that the same religion as you in the same team to you guys to be able to talk about the differences between both countries and Islam in both countries and stuff like that. It's really cool.
I heard that Coach Pope actually fasted with you. What did that mean to you when he did that?
Meant a lot. Meant like he respected the religion. Obviously, he asked me first if it's disrespectful to fast with me.
Right.
I said it's up to you if you can do it. But it was great just to see that he's very interested in the religion, and he's really interested in everything I do or everything anybody on the team does. And
Ali, thank you so much for taking the time with us. We're super excited to see what you can do come basketball season, and it was so good to meet you.
Yeah, thank you guys, and nice to meet you guys.
And that does it for us today. Thanks again to Aly Khalifa for coming on the show with us. You can join the Cougar Tailgate wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, or on BYURadio.org. Cougar Tailgate is a production of BYU Radio.